Alright, dudes. I think it's time we talked about tension. So voice is like a Chinese finger torture trap when it comes to tension. The harder you try to pull, the tighter the trap becomes. It's not about fighting to break the hold, it's about understanding the mechanism that keeps things limber. As we sing, the more demanding material we perform, the more likely our larynx wants to move upwards. As this happens, tension will then begin to build. For those who are newer singers, this might be why you notice that when you happen to start certain songs off, you're pretty comfortable and more flexible vocally, but by the end of a song, you could be spent and burnt out. Now, there could be other reasons why, but this might be one of the major culprits. That being said, it's not the only cause of fatigue, but by mitigating it, you can create a system of techniques that can allow you to sing freely for far longer than you thought you could. There's a book I bought a long time ago. It's called actually, I got it right here. It's called The Pro Secrets of Heavy Rock Singing. Really fun stuff, really handy, because unlike typical literature about voice, this was largely populated with interviews from a lot of famous active and gigging rock singers. In that book, if I recall correctly, Jolyn Turner quoted Jimmy Jamison from Survivor. He said that it's important to let the mic do the work. Now what this means is, as you develop your skills, you'll want to utilize them with minimal effort to achieve maximum results. You're going to hear this pretty often when it comes to technique, at least from my method of teaching things. So let's talk about two big sources of tension for singers, the jaw and the tongue. The best way to view the jaw is to think of it like an elastic hinge. You don't force a hinge open, nor does the hinge want to stay shut. You want a fluid jaw that allows your voice to be released. And this is a very important word here, released. You set everything up, and then it comes out. It is released out. You're not pushing. You're not pulling your chest voice up. You're releasing, depending on which style of resonance you wish to utilize, whether it be up, forward, and so on. Another good way to visualize moving the jaw is to imagine you are casually chewing gum or on celery or something in the back of the mouth as you sing. Another common trick with placement is to imagine you're chewing into an apple, kind of biting, like that. When we bite into things with our back or front teeth, we don't really strain to do so. We don't really dig in. We actually hardly think about it. So again, by using these mechanisms, we're letting the mic do the work. Now, you don't need a mic in front of you. I just like using the phrase because you're just setting everything up the way you need to, and you're sending it into the microphone. This will do the job. The microphone will do the job, or this guy, will do the job of projecting for you. Now, if you're into opera, that's, we can look into other ways of visualizing this, but mics are pretty handy. Again, we're letting the mic do the work by sending everything where it needs to be. You're setting everything up, whether it be your breathing, your resonance, everything into the mic. The mic will do the projecting for you, especially for a lot of live singers, a lot of rock singers, theater singers, where you need amplification against the music. So the more we can tap into muscle groups that we just inherently use all the time, it'll help us keep our voice nice and loose and relaxed. So the tongue, it can take a bit longer to truly get a grip on, and not like, that kind of stuff. But there's a technique that sort of uses something to that degree. It's a good warm-up thing. But anyways, you'll want to imagine the tongue is inactive. You're not forcing the tongue down. You're not engaging the tongue. You're not tensing anything up. You're really thinking that the tongue is in a state of inactivity. So you're not, it's almost like it's just not there. It's like numb. Now, that doesn't mean don't use it when you sing, but you really want to use it only when it's necessary, when you have to use it. Again, you want to use minimal effort, maximum results. So there's a really fun trick Adam Lambert does by using the back of the tongue. It sounded kind of weird, but you know what I mean. To keep tension down, specifically around the passaggio area. You'll notice when he sings, the tongue is just relaxing down, like... it's not tense. It's not a balloon. It's very relaxed. It allows all the mechanisms to let the voice release. And as I mentioned before, release is very important when you're singing. So, here's an example of one of those things. So if I go for a pesky passaggio note, I tend to get everything to be as relaxed as possible to allow the note to come out nicely, like so. Or another good example is Steve Perry. So he likes to put as little effort into enunciating as possible. So for instance, Wheel in the Sky, you can hear it live, like live in Houston. It sounds more like this. Ooh, in Louisiana again, oh Lord, I am an arm and a yama. I love you down a little longer. Like, or a little longer. Like, it's really overdoing it. But it keeps it nice and relaxed. Seen a later of a long summer day. Or day. Like, there's a couple ways you can do it. But again, you're seeing the intent here, you know, because he's able to go up higher because he's taking the effort out of the mid notes here. And it's like, not for glare. Ooh, I've been riding down this dusty road. I know if it's pitchy, whatever. I'm doing a demo of the technique, and it's actually. Allow me to show you the time. I'm gonna have my receipts, y'all. All right, there you go. 2:40 a.m. It's a little late. I assure you, if I was slightly off pitch, it's a quite human thing. So that has helped me out a lot over the years, especially because I just happen to write a lot of B4s and C5s in my music. Why? It just sounds cool. I don't like them, but it's just a note that seems to work well. So if you can add that in with the other techniques I've talked about, you can find yourself having a much more relaxed voice. A good tip for people looking to master these tricks is to use a mirror. From breathing to posture. It can be a great tool to help you develop good habits or unlock old ones you didn't know you already had that you could then translate onto voice. So a few of those we'll be talking about in later episodes. So that being said, hopefully this was a fun episode. And for those who are fellow coaches who like to swing by, what are your favorite pieces of advice for people looking to get the hang of tension? I'd love to hear in the comments below. And of course, if you have suggestions for more episodes, more reaction videos, I have more I'm doing soon, but definitely let me know. Thanks. And if you haven't already, hit that like button to help me with the algorithm, and hit the subscribe button if you want more updates. Later.